Hi, welcome to Tea with the Fertility Godmother. I'm Denise Noyer-Erez, and I'm excited to be here with you today. We have a very special guest and actually a friend of mine for a while now, and we are going to be talking about something I think you're going to be really interested in, and that is skincare. So I'm just going to ask her some questions. Feel free to hop on and ask me some questions. Here she comes right now. Hello. Waiting for you. Hope you, yes. Come on.
Joining us now. Perfect timing. And there she is. There's the
Hi.
beautiful Stacy. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Denise. Hi, everybody.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
You look great.
Hair's clean.
I like
I
it.
was like, if I do nothing else for this tea, I'm gonna pull my hair together. It's not gonna be in a top knot.
And then
I'm gonna
right
look
when
like a human being.
yeah, you look great.
Oh, thanks, girl.
You look
Yeah.
great. So so Stacy, everybody Stacy, I've known Stacy for I don't know, like quite a while now, and just she's been a blessing to me, and she's an amazing esthetician. She's on KTLA giving amazing information. You can watch her there. She has a beautiful Instagram where she's contributing in so many ways. She's got the biggest heart with yoga and your health, and like she's like one of those got it all type of women, you know. And so, Stacey, just thank you so much for joining today and taking your time because I know you're so busy, and I know that you really support what I do and wanting to help get the message out about to help women that are wanting to conceive or and women in general about these chemicals in our skincare, right?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, if you say jump, I will say how high,
Oh,
because that's our sisterhood and the friendship more than anything else.
hmm.
Um, I've been in skincare for, give you a hug. I've been in
Thank
skincare for 21 years, and that's like the official number, right? So I've been doing skincare in my kitchen since I was about 12 years old, and I've been trying to figure out what is safe and effective, but results driven. And
yeah.
when people come to me for a facial, they're turning over, the biggest thing they're turning over to me is their trust. And they're turning over their bodies and their trust. I'm not a doctor. I'm a licensed esthetician, so I didn't officially take the Hippocratic Oath, but I do operate under it, Denise. Like
Yeah, I know.
um, I've never told you that, but when it's really important when a woman is working with her partner or by herself on conceiving, and she's coming to me for a facial. People are very private about that. They don't always want to discuss and divulge those kinds of things, but that's actually exactly what I need to know. And my
Right.
job, and I always joke, I say, hey, whatever happens in Vegas or at Pampered People, at my skincare studio, it stays here. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And that's how it is at my skincare studio. Whatever you tell me, it's between you and I.
Yeah.
I don't know. There we go. My screen cleared up. But yeah, it's between you and I. So the first thing if you're pregnant and you're in those first weeks, and it's something that you're just really holding into yourself, but you want to come get a facial, you can come, but disclose that to me so that I can make better choices during the facial with the products I'm using, the devices I'm using, and know how to guide you through the pregnancy so you have glowing skin.
It's great. Yeah, it's so important. And even though they think that even when women are trying to conceive, like the chemicals are so can interrupt with the endocrine system and can impact their hormones and their egg quality and the
Yes.
receptors in the uterus so that the baby can implant. Like these chemicals are a big deal, and we're putting them on our skin, and I know our skin is it's a big organ, and that those chemicals get absorbed. I know there's protective barriers, but they still get absorbed into the bloodstream. So, what are some of your tips to help keep our ladies safe but beautiful? Because I know one of the biggest things is like, what can I put on my skin and still keep it nice? You know, we have this idea that we have to have specific products to make
Right,
sure that we don't age and stay
right.
beautiful, right? No.
Right. No, there are some really cool things that you can use, and then there's some things that you can't use. So I'm going to launch into what I'm talking about. If you go from a very medical side of this conversation, if someone was using Accutane for acne to treat acne, or they were using Tazorac. So when people are on either of those two drugs prescribed by their physician, they're actually getting tested before they even go on it to determine that they're not pregnant. So those are drugs that are super strong. They hit your bloodstream. Anything that hits your bloodstream, that's really what this conversation is all coming down to between us. What's the question? And the question you ask yourself if you and I, Denise, aren't there with someone, number one, you can always DM us and ask us if you're insecure about something. We're a DM away. It's so easy to reach us these days. And two, ask yourself, is this hitting my bloodstream? I'm not sure. Then DM us, call your physician and ask, because it's a really important conversation to have. But things like Tazorac and Accutane, you can't. They're already checking you for that. You can't use it at all. You have to wait until you're done breastfeeding and you test clear for being not pregnant to be able to take advantage of those prescriptions. Tetracycline, doxycycline, and minocycline, so cyclines. So if you see a product in your bathroom, you haven't used it in a while, it's some skincare thing your derm gave you, and it has cycline in the name, stop using it. Don't worry about it until well after you've given birth and done your breastfeeding, and then you can pick back up with it. Their skincare, they're not like Accutane, they're a little bit milder, but they are prescriptions that doctors will help to clear your skin up, to freshen it up, but during a pregnancy or as you're trying to conceive. Those are 3 or 4 things to stay off of. You could talk about over-the-counter stuff, Denise, like benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid. So you use those to spot treat a blemish at night typically. The key with those two is if you are desperate for some help, only choose a product that has one of the two listed on the ingredients. Don't do a marriage of the two. Choose the benzoyl or choose the salicylic in a low dose.
You guys better get your pencils out because this is some great information.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, oh, I really need to story some of this. And I don't want people to feel like, oh, like I'm not going to remember everything. It's okay. I mean, like I'm on DM. Like you can ask me, hey, can you recap that stuff about a blemish? So what I'm saying is the big ingredients when you talk about over-the-counter blemish products, it's benzoyl peroxide and it's salicylic. Most estheticians will tell you they prefer salicylic over the benzoyl. It tends to work with more body chemistries, but don't get one that has both, and use it sparingly. If you're like going out somewhere really special, birthday, anniversary type thing, and you have a blemish, that's when you want to treat it. Now, here's a biggie. This is in skincare, you guys. This is huge. I get asked about this almost every facial by a client. Hydroquinone. So when you get pregnant, when you get a bit into your pregnancy, a lot of people start to develop melasma. They start to hyperpigment, which, yes, exactly. She's showing you where it is. It's a real buzz killer. It's a real party. It's a buzz killer. It sucks. But you can't use lightning ingredients like hydroquinone while you're in a pregnancy, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding. You have to just let go and let God, as the saying goes, and then pick back up with that when your doctor and your esthetician, when we all confer, it's time to get back on those lighteners.
So even when you're trying to conceive, the hydroquinone is not.
Well, here's the thing, Denise. Okay, hydroquinone has, I think it's like a 45% absorption rate. So let's think about that. You're talking about things that hit your bloodstream, and hydroquinone goes right in. It moves fast. So do you really want that hitting your bloodstream in the process of conception, pregnancy, and breastfeeding? Or do you want, this is my point. 45% absorption, this stuff works. It will help. But wait, give it a break and wait until after you're in the clear to go back and work on lightening and minimizing the appearance of hyperpigmentation, sunspots, sun damage, things like that. Another thing, Denise, is essential oils, which have to come up in your clinic because
they do
all the time. Okay. So
you have to be really careful with which ones you use, right? Is that what you're gonna?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
well, my advice is, the whole thing with essential oils is you can't connect them directly with your skin without a carrier oil. So carrier oil would be like sunflower, coconut oil. You want to dilute it. But during pregnancy, again, the chance of it hitting your bloodstream is there. So my advice is to take something safe, antibacterial and antimicrobial, like lavender, okay? And lace the lavender on a cotton pad, Kleenex, a handkerchief, a bandana, a little bit in your mask, your face mask that we're all wearing, so you can have an inhalation.
That's actually a really good idea.
Thank you. Right? Just a little inhalation, because when you're trying to conceive, one of the things you want to do is keep your stress minimized, which I've heard you say in countless teas. So you want to be able to harness something like lavender to your highest good without having it start to absorb into your pulse points on your body. So an inhalation is a way to kind of get a little bit, but do it safely.
Yeah, that's great.
This is another biggie. I have to tell you this. This is like on my mind. Aluminum chloride. I mean, that is like, you've taught me this more than like anybody, because from your Eastern expertise, the aluminum chloride, guys, it's found in deodorant, predominantly. So this year I threw out all of my like drugstore.
Did you?
I did it. I threw it out.
How's that working? Let's be honest.
Okay, that's the thing. You're right. I know. But, okay, you have to hear this though.
I want to hear it.
The conversation between us is there is no natural, organic, aluminum chloride-free deodorant that really truly works, because that's the story in natural organic products. I listened to my colleagues. I did, and I found the one that works. And I teach hot yoga, and I'm sweating a lot, and I work out a lot. So I'm a great guinea pig for this one. Primally Pure.
Primally Pure.
I don't work for them. I'm not their spokesperson.
I'm writing it down.
Honest to God, I mean this from when you want to smell just really clean all day. So what they're using is a little bit of baking soda and all natural ingredients, not tested on animals, and green and clean. It's 100% natural, and it's 100% safe. And it comes in charcoal, and I use the lavender. There's the lavender coming back up again. There's another way to get a little bit of lavender in this story. It is the best product. I will not do subscription. I am doing a subscription where they send it every so many months, because it was that good. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna confess. I know about this, but I'm a little bit too self-conscious to make that leap. So you just inspired me, Stacy.
But you're safe. You're safe because I've already tested it for you. I've done the road testing, and I don't feel like it's going to work on me, and then you're going to invest in a Primally Pure deodorant and be like, Stacy, I stink. It doesn't work. I think they cracked the code.
I know where to find you. Oh, that's awesome.
And then what did you want to ask me about? You mentioned this before we were prepping, about like rocks and... Yeah,
I've noticed that, I've seen on your Instagram, and the crystal facials, but I've also noticed it seems like it tends to be the new fad or trend, if you will, with like even in our creams, there's like diamond cream, sapphire cream, or, so can you talk about a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if you're seeing particles, if a product is professing a toner, a face cream, it's professing to have little bits of diamond extract in it, diamond powder usually is what you'll see. What it's going to do is not defect. That was the wrong word. That was the wrong SAT word. Reflect. Light
Reflex.
reflection. Thank you.
Okay.
My brain's working. Yeah, light reflection. So it diffuses light across your face and it adds a little bit of lift and glow to your skin.
Okay.
When you translate that and you use it in a skincare treatment, couple things I can tell you. Number one, when I put a rose quartz crystal face mask on you, the number one thing I think it does is hold space, holds emotional space for you.
Okay.
It's heavy, but not too heavy. It's not,
Uh-huh.
it's the right amount of connection with your face, your neck, and throat. And you feel supported in a way that is hard to describe unless you try it. But you
Okay.
feel very nurtured
I've been
instantly.
flirting with this one, so I'm gonna have to come try it.
Your mom and I, we've talked about this. And
Yeah.
for you, it's very relaxing. It's very detoxifying. When you're, again, I'm going to go back, when you're trying to conceive, there's a certain amount of the unknown and anxiety. So we're going to a psychological place.
Mm-hmm.
Which facial do you want to get? Like if you're doing a rose quartz mask at the end, or we're working with color therapy and we're talking about certain color releases along your chakras, it completely forces your hand. It completely makes you stop doing your laundry list in your head, because you have to listen to what I'm saying and stay with my voice. And it forces people's adrenaline and stress levels and endorphins to go down.
Calm down, which is so important in the healing process. So that's
Another
another
thing
tool.
just
That's
to be
amazing.
mindful of is the word, you hear this word a lot, minerals.
Yes.
Mineral makeup, mineral SPF.
Those are safe, or
They are really safe.
Okay.
They're really safe. So as soon as you start thinking, yeah, exactly. No, minerals, because minerals over the last, I'd say like 5 years has become a huge trend in the beauty space.
Right.
And it's like, let me get my notes out on minerals. Hold on. Okay. So chemical sunscreens have hormone disruptors like oxybenzone or avobenzone, and those can interfere with the baby's nervous system in their development. You actually taught me that. If you need to protect yourself, you want to use a physical or a natural SPF. So you want to use something like Supergoop. Supergoop, they sell at Ulta and I believe also Sephora and supergoop.com, but that's a mineral-based product. CeraVe is another one that they sell at Ulta, and that's a mineral-based product. Let me see, where's my list? The Supergoop is interesting because it has a rosemary leaf extract in it, and that's great for sensitive skin and people with acne. That Supergoop covers all. It's made by a mom who I believe her dad is a dermatologist. Very nice family, nice people in the world of beauty, and she kind of cracked the code on products that absorb quickly, that your partner can use if your partner's a guy. Guys don't want sunscreens and SPFs that look white and chalky on their face, and they will immediately not wear it or use it. And Supergoop has a whole SKU of products that speak to mineral based. They speak to using the right ingredients, natural ingredients like rosemary leaf. Drunk Elephant is another popular brand.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a fun name. You can't forget it. And they have an SPF that I think is at Sephora, and they have an SPF that gets a lot of good, like 5 stars and good critiques and views from consumers. So I've been tracking that a little bit.
So good. That's great. So these are all really good facial sunscreens, which is so
face. Yeah,
so
exactly.
important.
I mean, you can trail them down your body too.
Right. Okay. Can you give some tips on? I had a patient the other day come in. She was doing her own research, and she said, "Okay, I'm just using vitamin E oil on my face." And my comment is, tell me, please elaborate, was, oh, that's great, but I think you need to put a lotion on eventually to protect the skin. So, what are your thoughts about that for anti-aging? Yeah.
Well, vitamin E is working on the person's skin as a serum. It's working in the capacity of a serum. So it's a concentrated dose of an ingredient that you're driving into your skin. The reason you want a moisturizer is because it's an occlusive and it's a cocoon and it goes over the serum. it helps drive the serum into your skin,
Okay.
number one. And number two, it protects your face. It's almost like a bubble. So
Beautifully put.
the key, so
I like
using a
the visual.
using a 1-2 punch like that, it's smart. It's smart skincare.
Okay.
Layering skincare is a big topic in my community. What you want to stay away from with your serum or your moisturizer is retinol.
Oh.
And that's a big, that topic alone in skincare, it's huge because it helps.
Right.
It started as a prescription from doctors. It's now, of course, available over the counter in different, more modified, lower doses, but it's to minimize the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles.
Right.
Well, everybody wants to minimize the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So if you have to stop that while you're conceiving, pregnant, and breastfeeding, because you don't want that vitamin A source getting into your bloodstream, what do you use?
What do you use?
I have an answer. Bakuchiol. It's a fun word.
I don't know what you just said.
Okay, I know.
Can you say it?
It's like Bakuchiol. And don't hold me to that spelling, but it's a fun word to roll off your tongue and just wow people with your skincare knowledge. Bakuchiol. So what it is,
can you say that, Bakuchiol?
It's fun. I'm telling you, say it, try it. You'll feel fabulous. I always do. I'm like Bakuchiol. People are like, how do you pronounce that? I'm like, I don't know. It stuck because I thought it was so kitschy and catchy. I want to, but it's a plant-based form of retinol, and it's one of the few anti-aging ingredients that people who are in this world of conception are totally in the clear to use, that has some super anti-aging wonder powers.
It's so brilliant.
I love it. A brand that you can look up after we talk about all this, a brand is Biossance. Biossance uses Bakuchiol. Another brand that I adore that's direct to consumer, and boy, is it affordable, is Go Pure.
Really?
Oh, yes. Go Pure. They're local here in Los Angeles, California. A mom started it herself. Erin, she's amazing. And they have a Bakuchiol-based product as well. And they have a lot of awesome serums and moisturizers that will, when you're putting your dollars into your conception and going through all the different stages, getting acupuncture, which I think is so important when you're working on conception, and working with a nutritionist and getting herbs in the equation. You're putting your dollars there. You don't want to not have good skincare. And so Go Pure is the crazy thing about them is that it's pure ingredients, Go Pure, at a low price point. And when you see the price points, you're like, that's not possible. But at least after we've had this conversation, you have my endorsement that it is possible. And yeah, so that's just a couple brands from Supergoop is great. CeraVe's great. Biossance Go Pure, they're awesome.
Amazing.
Tarte for makeup, Vita Liberata, and Saint-Tropez for your self-tanner.
All right. Self-tanners. I didn't even think about self-tanners.
Don't take the ones that spray because you can inhale it and it can get into your lungs. And if you're pregnant, you don't want that the fumes from those chemicals getting into your lungs. So when you want to talk about really good self-tanners, this is an iconic product, whether you're pregnant or not. Saint-Tropez Self-Tan Expressed Advanced Bronzing Mousse. Saint-Tropez Self-Tan Express Advanced Bronzing Mousse. That's a product that has been used countless times on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
And Vita Liberata is another brand that is in that self-tan category. And boy, is it green and clean and pure. They have their own formulations with proprietary ingredients that are all plant-based, and they're good for your skin. So those are the two self-tanners that I bounce between, and pregnant women can use them.
Okay, that's so great to know. I have one more question for you before we wrap up. If there's one thing that you could do to recommend for women that are trying to conceive and pregnant, to really just help them with, I think most of the women, at least the women that I work with, are into the nourishing and anti-aging. what would you recommend just to kind of bring it all together at the end here?
Build out your community. Build
Oh,
out your community. It's like you hear that wonderful expression, it takes a village to deliver a healthy baby.
yes,
It's
it
it's
does.
a very it's a privilege to become a parent, and I think that to do it successfully, your you need to have your team. You need to have people that you can talk to that will hold your confidence, give you good tips, and give you also emotional support as well, advice
So
and emotional
important.
support. And so
So
that's my thing.
important.
It's like, don't do this alone.
Yeah.
It's too important to your life, your future, and to all of our futures. Um, I'm so invested in this, and Denise is so invested in this, and we take it so seriously. And that's my thing, is like, it's about consistency. And I know Denise has taught me a lot about that too. It's not always about this miracle, I mean, Bakuchiol is awesome, but like, it's not all about Bakuchiol, but it's
Good
about being
job.
consistent. I know I play with it. I
I'll be saying
play,
that all
but
the
like, it's about being consistent. So if you do use a plant-based serum and a moisturizer, put it by your nightstand. If you're too tired to get to the bathroom to do your nighttime routine, if the products aren't terribly overpriced, put an extra set by your nightstand. And if you're too tired, then just reach for it and put those products on. Um, if you make a commitment to yourself to go get acupuncture and nutritional counseling or make a facial with me, keep the appointment. You deserve it. And I always think people look a million times healthier after these types of appointments. And the reason is, I mean, we're a certain form of magicians. Okay, great. But Denise, they relax their face.
Okay, she's
They
so fun. Isn't she fun? Yes, I know that, right?
they come down. So many people go, God, I look amazing when they leave my studio, and I'm like, well, you just spent an hour not tensing your face,
Right.
not pursing your lips, not furrowing your brow, and so all the musculature, and then when you leave on that emotional high, you know that's great times to conceive because your body's open to
Right.
it.
Yes. Yes. It's so true. The relaxation is so, so important. So thank you. So Stacy's here local in LA. So if anybody wants to experience her magic touch, you can, what would be the best way? At Stacy Cox Beauty, or what would
Well,
you,
you can look on pamperedpeople.com is
Pampered
my
People?
website. It's a
Okay.
little dated. So that's why I'm always like, you know what? The quickest way to get an appointment with me is to DM me on Instagram. And then I'll give you my cell number and we can go back and forth. We can text and figure an appointment out for you. And
Okay.
yeah, and you'll get a little discount for being on this feed with us, of course. Like, I'll totally love you up
Aw,
and do you solid and
thank
give you
you.
a Denise, discount for sure. So just something to say thank you for
Thank
giving it a
you.
try. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much, Stacy. It was wonderful to see you. And thanks for
You're
all
welcome.
that valuable tips, amazing tips. I'm like going to go through my notes. So thank you.
Well, I'll jump onto stories in a minute and I will post a few of these so people can get a quick, like, little visual for
Perfect.
self tanner, sunscreens, all these things. Don't do retinols right now. Try bakuchiol, that kind of stuff. I'll do a quick review.
Bakuchiao, the word of the day.
The word of the day, the tip of the day, ingredient of the day. Yeah.
Bakuchiao.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much,
You're
Stacy. So
welcome.
hop on over. She's going to, in a few minutes, at Stacy Beauty,
Stacy Cox Beauty.
Stacy Cox Beauty. I know I was
Yep.
missing a word. Stacy Cox Beauty. And she's going to do it. That's amazing. Thank you again.
You're
Mwah.
welcome.
Take care. And thank all of you for
Thank you.
joining me. We'll see you next week. Bye, Stacy. Bye,
Bye, Denise. Bye,
everyone.
everybody.